Welcome to UT Today. I'm Jake Albright.
And I'm Ansley Daniel. Governor Haslam is starting his last year in office. He still has many pieces of legislation to take care of in this last term.
And UT Today reporter Savannah Jacoby was there to get the rundown on how Haslam's last State of the State address went.
7 years ago on this day, Governor Bill Haslam gave his first State of the State address. Now 7 years later, he's doing it one last time, but instead of looking ahead, he's reflecting on his tenure.
It's right up these steps and through these doors. Here in the House chambers where Governor Haslam gives his final State of the State address regarding legislation for his last year in office.
Haslam's address sentimentally detailed his accomplishments. Speaker of the House Beth Harwell has been witness of Haslam's legislation over the years.
We really have accomplished a lot with the great leadership of the governor and a legislature that's committed. We, over these last 7 years, have really accomplished a lot of good things, everything from tax reform to education initiatives.
Haslam, who is passionate about higher education, is now turning to address the opioid crisis facing Tennessee. Governor Haslam and Speaker Harwell are working together to put up a task force called Tennessee Together.
We're going to go at this to really work with law enforcement to keep illegal drugs out. We're going to look at more facilities to help and rehabilitate people because we know we won't incarcerate our way out of this problem. We have to bring hope and help to these folks.
It's an issue a Knoxville native and Representative Jimmy Matlock agree needs to be addressed.
We're going to put, again, more money behind it. We're going to bring law enforcement into bear. We're going to bring people. The culture's got to change. There's got to be a way and people have hope. They won't be looking for outlets like this.
Governor Haslam is taking all steps to face the opioid crisis in his last year. For UT Today, I'm Savannah Jacoby reporting.
Tennessee Together is going to monitor people's access to opioids and put more focus on prevention and treatment.
There's a new bill that has been proposed in the Tennessee State Legislature to change the times when alcohol can be sold. Anchor Ansley Daniel has more.
I don't guess we'll have much choice but to open.
Adjusting and rearranging, a concept Bob Gilbertson is used to.
We had the same business model for like years and years, and now the whole thing's been thrown out the window. There's different rules, different regulations, and they're going to keep changing.
The Tennessee state law is changing to allow 7-day alcohol sales for the whole state.
Well, Tennessee is moving. We have evolved, and our whole state is changing. And I think that we as government officials should be more in tune with what the requests of our citizens are.
Another local store owner says that he is used to the change and has to go with it no matter the cost.
I knew it was inevitable. It was just like the wine in the grocery store. Once they start pushing for it, their public relations campaigns, we don't have enough money to fight it.
But lawmakers say it's about making up lost revenue for Tennessee.
We have 5 states that surround our state right now that offer alcohol and wine sales on Sunday.
Bob Gilbertson fears that the lost revenue will fall on him.
Let's say we sell 3% more in a week than we would have sold, but that doesn't really make that much difference because your expenses go up. You know, you have to pay your help.
However, John Cook says that it makes sense that lawmakers are advocating for 7-day sales.
Well, I do like a day off, but I do understand why we need to be open on Sundays, because it is kind of ridiculous not to be able to purchase wine on Sunday, but you can purchase beer.
For UT Today, Ansley Daniel.
And if passed, the law could go into effect as early as this July.
Our country and our university are founded on the principle of free speech, and this protection includes hate speech.
Yeah, and unfortunately, words of hate found their way onto UT's campus recently. Ashley Sharp shows us how students and the community responded.
Racist messages painted on UT's rock by a white supremacy group looking to gain traction on campus.
My initial reaction was a fear. This group is targeting students like me.
Sparked a community-wide conversation, one that emphasizes love over hate.
We're students and we want to stand up, we want to speak up for what is right.
A sentiment echoed by hundreds who decided to come together.
Unity, that is what it really means to be a volunteer, supporting one another.
Students, faculty, and the Knoxville community gathered at the Rock, united against racism, leaving behind their handprints as a message that Vol means all.
Let us turn our conversations to who we are and away from who they are.
UT Chancellor Beverly Davenport using her voice to unite, not divide.
We will not let them make us afraid. We will not let them make us back down.
Davenport released multiple statements letting students know that she stands for inclusion and that in the presence of racism, silence is not the answer.
Draw the circle line. The day that we become silent about things that matter is when our lives begin to end. And I want to tell you today, with all of us coming united together, not separating, for peace, love, and civility, that this is not going to be the end.
Together, we will win this day.
Reporting on campus, Ashley Sharp, UT Today.
And Chancellor Davenport also said that even though the First Amendment protects hate speech and racism, we have a responsibility to condemn what we know is wrong.
This flu season has rocked the country and has had its fair share of victims here in East Tennessee.
And with the busiest flu month still well ahead of us, people are wondering how to stay ahead of it. UT Today reporter Allison Woodall takes us behind the scenes of this flu epidemic.
While the flu continues to have high activity levels across the nation, many are finding it hard to supply themselves with the medicine to feel better.
We've also had some problems getting generic Tamiflu in stock, but usually by the next day it was rectified.
The CDC says that this is the worst flu outbreak in a decade, with high activity levels in most of the states.
So 08 and 09 was the H1N1 season, and that was bad in that it adversely affected young people and pregnant women and children.
Several doctors are recommending taking Tamiflu whether or not you may have the flu, but if others around you are infected.
How Tamiflu works is it messes with the replication of the influenza virus.
Due to the strength of the flu this season, many consumers are having a hard time finding Tamiflu stocked in their local pharmacies, instead having to turn to more general medications such as Mucinex to treat the individual symptoms.
One of the ways that they prevent a shortage of the Tamiflu is by only prescribing it to patients who test positive. So if they just gave it to everybody without testing them, then Tamiflu would run out.
Even if Tamiflu isn't readily available at your local pharmacy, you can always talk to your doctor about options.
The best thing I would say is if there's any doubt in your mind of whether or not you should be seen and have influenza-like symptoms, I think it would be good to reach out to your physician.
For UT Today, this is Allison Woodall.
And there have been more than 53 reported child deaths so far this year, but the CDC notes that although these numbers seem high, they are not out of the norm, and they say the best way to protect yourself is still get that flu shot.
Coming up when we return, a dangerous viral trend sweeps America's youth, and it's not the first time.
Why monitoring your kids' social media could save their life. Next. Welcome back. The CDC reports that 10% of women in the U.S. struggle with infertility, but there are options.
Knoxville is the home of the only nonprofit, full-service National Embryo Donation Center in the U.S. UT Today reporter Tala Shatara introduces us to a Knoxville woman whose dreams of having a family became reality.
For many women, having children can be a lot harder than expected to be. The NEDC has helped over hundreds of women each year experiencing fertility issues. Marty Bailey expresses her gratitude to the NEDC that has given her 2 miracles of life.
I also went through infertility for 7 years and wanted to have a child. And I was on the traditional adoption list. And I kept waiting and waiting, and it wasn't happening. And I realized that I too wanted to do embryo adoption.
As Marty underwent multiple embryo transfers, it seemed she still couldn't carry to full term.
I prayed and prayed about it because it was so difficult. It hurt so bad.
Marty then tried one more time and got some news she wasn't expecting.
When we went for the ultrasound, he said, well, I have some bad news. I only see 2 heartbeats here. And of course, we were thrilled to death.
Natalie and Julian are now 9 and have been told their birth story, as well as had a relationship with the couple who donated their embryos for Marty and her husband, Brian. The NEDC has recently made big news with having an embryo frozen for 24 years that was carried to full term. Carol Sommerfeld has been an embryologist since the NEDC was first opened back in 2003.
I feel like I've been given an opportunity and a talent to be able to help families.
For UT Today, I'm Tala Shatara.
Embryo donation is just one of the many options for couples who may have trouble starting a family.
A new internet trend is putting parents on high alert. A new report from the American Association of Poison Control Centers shows that there have been 86 confirmed calls of kids eating laundry detergent pods as a part of the viral sensation Tide Pod Challenge. UT Today anchor Jake Albright tells us that this isn't the beginning of the internet's danger.
With a family of 4, Megan and Grady Vanderhoeven have a lot on their plate.
You never know what's going to come around the corner next when you have teenagers.
But while Grady and Megan are downstairs making dinner, the safety of their kids stays on their mind.
I'm not with my kids all the time, and peer pressure is very strong.
So strong that with the introduction of the Tide Pod Challenge in January, parents are on a higher alert with their child's social media usage.
I think there's, this sense of the internet kind of being this wild, wild west.
PR doctoral student Brandon Boatwright has noticed this problem in the social media age of young adults, but says that today's kids don't realize what should or shouldn't be done online.
But again, I think it goes to how do we rationalize, how do we, discern the information that's being presented to us, and how do we contextualize that into our society.
Now, Boatwright says some of the biggest ways that these trends can spread is through social media influencers. Now, when they post themselves doing these things on their YouTube channels, they can go viral from there.
I think there's a real responsibility that influencers carry with them to, act in an appropriate way.
And while influencers are posting videos like this online, the Vanderhoevens are making sure their kids understand that
kids make bad decisions. We made bad decisions. But putting it on the internet for the whole world to see for the next 50 years, really bad decision.
Because of the viral Tide Pod Challenge, legislators are cracking down by mandating child-resistant packaging, warning labels, and uniform colors for laundry detergent pods.
Knoxville's food on the go scene is revving up the city's first food truck park, and it opened this month. UT Today reporter Kayla Grainer caught up with a business eager to fuel its customers.
I'm here at the Central Filling Station, Knoxville's first full-service food truck park. Food trucks are growing in popularity here in Knoxville for their unique food and service.
They're unique and they're never the same thing twice.
As food trucks are growing here in Knoxville, they're also growing in diversity. One food truck that is taking a unique approach is the Coffee Run. The Coffee Run was started less than 6 months ago by husband and wife Hillary and Thomas Godsey. But they have already started selling out of their food truck and in an unusual place. The shop sets up every week in front of local hospitals here in Knoxville to serve nurses and doctors.
Everyone needs coffee at a hospital. You have employees that are working night shift, third shift, employees coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning.
The Coffee Run uses organic and fair trade ground coffee found in North Carolina to give it a smoother texture. Although the couple is making money, they say the best part about owning a small business is growing closer as a family.
Just real beneficial for our family down the road. You know, if we could grow this into something larger, we'd have it for our kids and maybe their kids.
Now the Coffee Run is only serving at the Tenova on Emory Road, but they are working on getting a location right here. For UT Today, I'm Kayla Grainer.
The food truck park will be open every Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Definitely looking forward to check out those food trucks.
Absolutely.
Well, if you've made a trip to Knoxville in the past year, you might have flown through McGee-Tyson Airport. While many travelers go in and out those doors on a daily basis, this year was particularly important. Elizabeth Longmire has more.
Travelers haven't stopped rolling in. For McGee-Tyson Airport, that was the trend for 2017. A record-breaking year bringing in nearly 2 million travelers. Airport spokesperson Caitlin Darris noticing a substantial jump in those headed to the runway.
It's about 140,000 people increase from our other record-breaking year, which was in 2005.
That increase stemming directly from community support.
Seeing this substantial increase means that our community is supporting aviation, it's supporting airfare. We're going on those business trips, we're taking those family vacations.
And with a high amount of travelers packing their bags, this means a higher number of travelers entering Knoxville in 2018.
Well, that just encourages tourism, you know, for the Smokies and the surrounding area. So that's, you know, that's good. That's kudos to Knoxville and all the UT and anything that's trying to grow.
Plans for growth on the radar for the airport's 80th year celebration.
Well, right now we are in the middle of the largest construction project in airport history.
Adding extended runways and more seasonal destinations, just a few of the ways the airport hopes to flourish in 2018.
We're doing everything we can as an airport to make their customer experience the best that it can be.
For frequent flyers, that's reason enough to keep flying Knoxville.
Knoxville is the hub for the airport, I mean, for everybody.
Through McGee-Tyson's 80th year celebration, they will be kicking off this campaign, Celebrating 80 Years in 80 Ways, where they will be spotlighting employees, travelers, and progress made throughout the airport this year.
Well, did you know Knoxville has a women's rugby team?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I need to check that out, but we're taking you straight to their home field when we return.
Wish that I was on old Rocky Top. Home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Na 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 na.
Welcome back.
It's been a busy week for sports here in Knoxville. Camille Gear is in studio with your latest. Camille?
Thanks, guys. What does it really mean to be dedicated to your sport? UT Today reporter Mariah Rock followed one UT team to find out.
University of Tennessee's women's rowing team starts their day bright and early. Along with waking up, senior Amon Woodyard is used to being on a tight schedule.
We have morning practice, typically around 7:45 to 8:45, and then I have class from 9:40 until around 2, and then we have weights in the afternoon/evening, and then I try to do homework as well.
To Amon, this is more than just a demanding schedule.
Be in that leadership role that can help, that I can do whatever I can do to be able to influence my rowers and influence my friends, because at the end of the day, this is just one big family.
Head coach Lisa Glenn knows what it means to have hard work pay off.
The hours can be long and the work is tough, but there are so many times when you just see somebody round a corner that they've been trying to get around, whether it's just mentally, emotionally, physically, And when they get around that corner and see the next stretch ahead and they're on a new level, it's just all worth it.
There's something so special about this sport that keeps them going.
It's incredibly difficult, but it is poetry in motion. And I think it's something that you assume what rowing is until you actually come down and watch it, and then you're really usually very impressed with what these people are doing together as a unit.
Reporting for UT Today, Mariah Rock.
The rowing team participates in races all over the country. The next one is in Oak Ridge on March 17th. It's rugby time in Tennessee. UT sports reporter Hannah Milby visited Knoxville's Women's Club at one of their late night practices.
Hey, good job, guys. Keep it up. Riley, you got that?
Wild as a minx, but still sweet as a soda pop, the Knoxville Minx, the local women's rugby club, is back training for their 13th year. But so many in Knoxville still don't know the team exists. Captain Kristen Colston is hoping to change that.
We're here and we have a rugby team. I meet so many women that don't realize we have a team. So just knowing that we're here, we're fun.
The team includes many former UT rugby players and is led by coaches Andrew Perlmutter and Aaron Monroe. Colston shared her vision on how the Minx will impact rugby culture in Knoxville.
That we'll have rugby at every level. They're starting like little kids touch rugby during the summers, and we used to have more high school teams around here, but they've kind of trickled down. But just rugby at every level and everyone supporting each other.
Rain or shine, it looks like the Minx are ready for another great season. For UT Today, I'm Hannah Milby.
The Minx compete in the South Rugby Union as a Division II team and are eager to have you join. I caught up with Lady Vols volleyball head coach Eve Rackham to learn how she's getting acquainted in her new home. The University of Tennessee had 2 coaching searches this year, but the easier of the two, the search for a new head volleyball coach. On January 10th, that search ended when Philip Fulmer named Eve Rackham as the new head coach. The former Tar Heel didn't know a lot about Knoxville, but knew right away the city and the university had something special.
Everybody that I've worked with, everybody that I've met, there is so much passion for this university. Everybody just loves this place, and that's been really cool to see.
Rackham believes her staff and her players can restore this team to championship level, thanks to the foundation former head coach Rob Patrick built for over 21 years.
So I think in terms of what we already have here, it's as good a situation as I could have come into. We're going to need to recruit, obviously, to the level we need nationally to continue to build, but I really do think we have the talent in the gym to reach some of the goals we have short term and then build from there.
Rackham wants this team to win championships, but says that won't be possible without the support from UT students and fans every step of the way.
I mean, I would love for people to get behind us, and I would love to see people in the stands, and we've got a big arena, so I'm hoping we can work towards filling it.
For UT Today, I'm Camille Gear, reporting. The volleyball team is in practice mode right now, but will kick off their season starting in August. That's going to do it for your sports update, guys. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Camille. Well, it's going to be exciting to see how Eve really transforms this volleyball program coming up. While you've been out driving, you may have noticed the presence of a new critter on the road.
When we come back, see the health concerns this animal is bringing with it to East Tennessee. Welcome back. A new mammal has made its way to East Tennessee, and it's bringing a disease that has people concerned.
UT Today reporter Alana Osborne met up with Sarah Glass of Zoo Knoxville with more.
If you'd like to learn more about armadillos without having to get too up close and personal, head on down to Zoo Knoxville where you can see all of this for yourself. Reporting in Knoxville for UT Today, Olana Osborne.
Yeah, it's good to see that, you know, they might have diseases that they bring with them, but it's good to know, you know, we're not going to be affected by it. Kids aren't going to be affected by it.
Just be sure that you watch out, and if you see anything suspicious, make sure you call authorities.
Definitely, definitely. All right, thank you so much for joining us for UT Today. Until next time, I'm Jake Albright.
And I'm Ansley Daniel. See you next week.